I did see this. I had this one experience during school, and it was someone was preaching the word of God, and we were all just like changing classes. We were walking to our other class, and there was just like a teenager just in front of the guy that was preaching, and she was just making fun of like his faith. And she was like, oh, like, who's this God and stuff. And there were students like all around them, and there were some that were like, yeah, like, who is God, or like making fun of his faith. And then there were some supporting him. So for me, it has been like a little difficult, but I guess not difficult, because it also like depends on how you are with your own faith. Like,
We're getting to that point, and we have a lot of things to talk about today. But first off, we have a new face, Jasmine.
hi guys.
We usually do this, and I'm actually going to ask you to do it. I'll let you introduce yourself, and you can say like rather one interesting thing about you, or something that you do here at church. Like what are your uh, things that you take care of?
Okay. So my name is Yasmin, and I'm pretty like involved in church. I'm part of the directiva of the youth leaders, and also part of the worship team here at church, and I sing.
Awesome. And we've seen Reyna several times now. She's a familiar face by now. Hopefully, if you watch some of our videos already, she's a great person. And you too, Jasmine. It's
Oh,
just
thank you.
I haven't been like I said, I haven't had
Marvyn
it.
is also great, guys.
I haven't had
He said, I guess I'm forced to say you
I
too.
just haven't had time to like actually like talk to you or have conversations with you as much because again, I just feel like I don't see you. Yeah, I may see you like for 30 minutes or 40 minutes that we're up there, and after that, it's like, you know,
Bye.
right, exactly. But
Nice
I'll see
playing
you
with
next
you.
week.
yeah, but it's nice to have both of you. Last time, just kind of a summary, so we can get into some of the things that we're gonna be talking about today. We had the guys sit exactly in the same positions you guys are at, and they were talking about the same questions and regarding the same topic, which we'll mention in a little bit. But it was very interesting to hear them, and I am really excited to hear what you guys are going to be talking about. It's the same exact questions. We haven't changed anything. So, we're hoping that later after this video, we're able to actually kind of meditate and compare kind of answers. Sorry, your answers of the topics or the questions that we have, because it was really interesting to hear what they had to say. Now there was one segment or one question that we weren't able to start or kind of talk with them, and I actually want to start with that for today, just because I know that it's something very very intimate for us, and it's our faith, of course. And I just wanted to kind of hear you guys kind of talk about it and see what you guys have of insight. And if you guys have any questions or need anything from me, I'm always here, but I'm just kind of going to be hearing you guys out. So the main question for what we call faith in public spaces or faith outside of the church, of course, is how do you guys live out faith differently or in different settings such as work, school, or even online? Because we know how social media is now, so it's something that we have to kind of say it's different than even being in person because you talk to people differently. So just want to kind of hear your insights, and either of you can start, but I'd like to hear.
Okay. Um, well, I feel like it's mainly a character thing. Like, it can be so easy to say, oh, men are more this way, women are more this way. And when it comes to faith, it's the same way. Men are more this way, men are more that way. Men are more expressive, women are less expressive. But I feel like it's just like a difference in personalities and the way people carry themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've met people that, or let's say men, that are very bold in their faith. But I've also met men that aren't as bold in their faith.
Okay.
But same thing with women. Like, I've met women that are super bold in their faith, super passionate,
Mm-hmm.
and then others that, like, they don't really share as much. So for us to say that men and women are different, I feel like it's kind of iffy to say
Okay.
how they're different in expressing themselves, because I would say it's mainly like just like how confident you are in whatever you're
Got
sharing. And I feel like if you have the grounds to fully express yourself, freely express yourself, if you feel like you're welcome in the environment, then you're
Mm-hmm.
going to obviously feel Like, you can share your faith, you can share your gospel. And then there's also going to be situations in which you don't feel as free, but you have to have a confident character, to be able to freely share whatever it is that you believe. So I go to a Christian school, and since everyone there, well, almost everyone there is Christian, I feel free to, express myself, express my faith, express whatever I believe. But I know other Christians that don't go to Christian schools, and they don't feel as free to express themselves freely. But I don't know. I don't know what's your stance on that.
I mean, as someone who does go to a different school from her, like my school personally isn't mainly Christian school. More like I did see this. I had this one experience during school, and it was someone was preaching the word of God, and we were all just like changing classes. We were walking to our other class, and there was just like a teenager just in front of the guy that was preaching, and she was just making fun of like his faith, and she was like, oh, like, who's this God and stuff. And there were students like all around them, and there were some that were like, yeah, like, who is God, or like making fun of his faith. And then there were some supporting him. So for me, it has been like a little difficult, but I guess not difficult, because it also like depends on how you are with your own faith, like Reyna said. um for me, some people don't believe in God, and I still talk to them about God, because I know that at the end God is the one that's going to give me the right words to express myself towards them. And it could be different with so many people, but at the end of the day, it all starts with us and how our faith is. If our faith is grounded, we're able to pass that on to other people, and God will give us the words and the courage to do it, and the confidence, like you said. So,
Yes, definitely. And I feel like sometimes women, they might, spend more time in prayer at home, spend more time reading the scriptures in comparison to men sometimes, or sometimes I've seen, since they're busy with work, they come home, they have, I don't know, they've just been working so hard all day, laboring. They really don't tend to spend that much time, on their own praying. Sometimes there's obviously the men that make the difference, and they'll spend their time with their families, in prayer, reading the scriptures. But I feel like it's also depending on their lifestyles, the way that they live, in which influences the way they spend their time with Christ and develop their character in Christ.
yeah, I just feel like women are more expressive,
Yeah,
you could say. Like, on the most side. Obviously, there will be exceptions, but on the most side, we're more expressive.
Yeah, and I feel like it's easier for women sometimes, because we're like we're like chatty sometimes. We'll be like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like that about you, and then we'll just like start
More social.
Guys do the same thing too, though.
I feel like it has to do more within us, more than like a gender.
Yeah,
in
more
reality,
with, like, the person. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you brought up at the beginning, like type of character person is, right? And I won't say too much, but like, yeah, I think there is moments where a man can be more expressive, depending on the circumstance and also the character that they develop. And actually, and of course, none of us are married, but I do believe that when someone's married, their wife helps in that circumstance to kind of be a little more expressive, and even in the intimates with God, because they see the vulnerability of somebody else. But go ahead.
Sorry, I've had like several male friends where they feel like they can't really, express themselves, be sentimental, just because they were raised on the fact that, oh, you have to be a part character, you can't cry, you can't do this, you can't do that, So it's like women, we have more freedom to be able to do that, So it's
Yeah. No, I get that. And talking about this, I wanted to kind of ask, and this is kind of towards more of the social media aspect. If when you guys see, like, I guess you can call them influencers, even in the Christian world, you have your male influencers and you have your female influencers. Who do you think gets bashed out more, or like gets the more negative connotations because they are speaking of, maybe, let's say, something about the other gender or how someone's supposed to act in certain circumstances? And of course, everybody has their own viewpoint of certain things, but who do you feel or believe that's going to get like more bashed out from it?
women. I think women, just because our society or since the beginning of time, it's always been a patriarchy. So people have respect for men, for their position, for the things that they say. And so sometimes there'll be women that, they come out saying certain things, and then there's gonna be the people supporting them, but
Mhm.
then there's gonna be the people bashing them, and then the bashing part, I feel like it's a lot stronger towards women sometimes. Men, it's like, oh, you're this, cool, but then women, it's like, no, why are you this? Oh, but this is like sometimes in general, like there's obviously the exceptions,
Mhm.
like Yasmin said before, but it's yeah, that's what I've seen. What have you seen?
I could agree with Reyna. I feel like women do get bashed more just because they look, even like woman on woman. Like it doesn't have to be like
Mhm.
men towards women. Like women towards each other, they bash each other a lot.
Mhm.
One, jealousy. For men, bashing women could be like, oh, how they dress, or why do they talk like that,
Mhm. Mhm.
or why are they acting this way, or there's little things that they're like, they point out and they're like, oh, you're a woman, you can't do that, or like, oh, you're trying to be like a guy so bad. Like even in sports, like in sports, there's like men that, they're more competitive, they're all of this, but if you see women's sport, you see that there's not a bunch of audience, and then you're like, oh, I play a sport, and they're
Mhm.
like, oh, what do you do, like just kick the ball like to the right when you're supposed to kick it to the left.
Yeah.
Like they do bash on women in that aspect,
Yeah,
because
and
they
then
see we don't have, they say, like they think we don't have the capability of doing something.
yeah, and
Okay.
then when men tend to do like quote unquote more feminine things, they're not bashed on,
Yeah,
When women want to do masculine things, they'll be bashed on, but then when men do
they're
certain
more
things,
like, okay,
yeah,
I
it's like,
respect
okay,
you,
it's like,
you
cool.
just go that way,
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that talking about that and starting to see the comparison or even the same things, for each gender. I want to get your perspective about pop culture and media. Um, so there is, and to explain it a little bit, there are certain things that we as people tend to see, hear, or even do as our hobbies. And what I wanted to kind of discuss or kind of ask you guys was, um, how do women engage with pop culture nowadays? It's a little different. And of course, how do we approach it as Christians? Like, what's your perspective on us as Christians and you guys as women, that we have to approach our pop culture now? And we're talking about, when we talk about pop culture, we're talking about the shows coming out, movies coming out, music that's coming out, sports, or even hobbies that us as people just do on a normal daily basis.
Okay, I could start with that one. I think that the way women engage with pop culture, we're more influenced on like social media, 100%. It could be like anything. It could be from cooking videos all the way to like shows we watch.
Yeah.
We're easily influenced. For men, I feel like it's different. I can't really speak on them because that's them. But
Mhm.
for us, I feel like there is times where we come to church and we're like, oh, like, have you seen this? Or like we make a reference
Okay.
to like a social media like post or meme, and we're like, oh yeah, like this, and they're like, they automatically get it. But if you tell a guy that, they're like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what are y'all talking about? And I feel like in general, as Christians, I feel like there are things that we can engage with,
Okay.
like depending on, the trend, or depending on what it is. Because
Mhm.
there is things that, like, it's like, oh, we should do this, and we take it as an idea to do it for our own social media and get more youth that brings attention to them, right?
Okay.
But there are other things like shows that aren't really appropriate to us as Christians.
Okay.
And, sometimes we want to watch it because it's like, oh, like everyone's watching it. And that's just how we, like, women are, right? We're like, yeah, we want to, like, be kind of on the same page with everyone, but not entirely. Because that's where the Christian definition comes, where you have to separate yourself from the world
Mhm.
and you have to see what's more beneficial, well, what edifies you more and what doesn't. And I feel like that's where the separation is.
Yeah. Do guys have what's the word for the people that sell stuff on like Instagram or Reels? What's the word for that? It's like something creator.
Oh wait, no.
It's like they like market things.
Yeah,
But
I
they're
know.
not like influencers. I don't know. I feel like girls
Like,
have.
are you talking about content creators
Not-
or
no,
like?
No, they're like TikTok shop and stuff like that, like where you buy stuff
Yeah.
online. The same thing with Reels,
Yeah,
like
there's
and
certain
Instagram
there's certain people that
that just sell things, like promote.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
That like, do guys have that? Because girls, like, they'll sell us anything. They'll sell us like hair products. They'll sell us like clothes. They'll sell us like absolutely anything.
I would say yes, and the reason why, because I think I myself and some of the people that I follow or whatnot, they promote their, let's say, merch, or they promote their
okay.
own
Okay, yeah.
like their own codes for like video games and stuff like that they'll
Okay,
get
that
stuff.
makes sense.
So yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I was curious because like us, like I feel like they market absolutely anything imaginable. Like it can be food, it can be anything. Like everything is just like towards women. But that's probably just because like I'm a woman and I'm the one on TikTok. So I was curious about that. No, but as Yasmin will say, like women are easily influenced to
Yeah.
do certain things. But you know, it depends like also on whatever it is that we're engaging with on social media. So if you're liking like a lot of Christian stuff, then obviously you're gonna have a lot more Christian stuff come by. But then if you're liking, you know, a lot of other different things, and those different things are what are gonna end up coming on your feed. But I feel like a lot of what comes across our, you know, pop culture to say is also or also has to do with like, you know, body image a lot of times, or like confidence, or I don't know. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a certain way to dress.
Yeah.
Oh, if you don't look like that, you don't meet societal standards. And so I feel like at the same time, even though we get influenced and we get engaged, we also get influenced in the negative way of where it brings our confidence down, or like our self-esteem could be affected by it.
Yeah, and people always say what matters is in the heart. What matters is what's inside. But like for women, I feel like the outside also matters a lot. You get different treatment if you don't look.
If
your
you
best.
look a certain way, you get more attention than if you look another certain way. If you do a certain thing, then you get more views in that certain thing than you would in other things that.
And across media, if we're being more exposed to those things continuously, then more, or the people watching it, especially like little girls, they're gonna want to, you know, be that same way. Like I've seen a lot, and it breaks my heart, but there's like so many little girls I know from church that they'll have like TikTok, they'll have Instagram, and so they'll see these things, and then they already start having like negative thoughts about their body being like little, saying that they're ugly, saying that they're fat, saying that, you know, certain things that a little kid shouldn't be thinking about, a little kid shouldn't be saying, because they're, you know, kids. They shouldn't be worrying about that at that age. Whenever I was little, I was worrying about my video games, about my Papa's Freezeria, about how many people I could serve. I was worrying about the...
We would go to the mall and buy like the most kid shirts. Like we would make a list and would be like, okay, we're gonna go to this store, and then we're gonna look for this, and this.
Yes.
And like we'll just come out with like our shopping bags. And back then, like $80 was like a lot for us when it came to the mall. So.
And I remember, like, we would always dream about the future. Like, we were always thinking about, like, stuff beyond what was in the present. But I feel like so many girls nowadays are thinking just about, like,
the present.
right now, you know? And, yeah, I feel like it'll eventually take a toll on a lot of people, a lot of women especially. But, you know, we gotta pray that we always find that confidence in God.
Amen. And I have this question, and it could be a quick like yes or no, and like a quick sentence. But who do you think follows celebrity news more?
Men.
Probably
Okay.
Men.
Okay, you care to explain just a little bit why?
Yeah. So I feel like men follow more celebrities because they are more. It doesn't have to be like, it could be like a singer. It could be more sports based.
Okay.
More sports based. And usually whenever like I look at men's following, I'm like, because I get curious, you know? We all get curious. And we're like, okay, what do they follow more?
It's not stalking.
It's not stalking.
I feel comfortable now.
And like we see, and it's mainly like celebrities. And for women, it's more like, okay, like if they're a celebrity that I truly follow, or I truly like find attention to, like towards, right. But if it's just a normal celebrity, like you're like, oh, just because they look pretty or they look handsome, like I'm not gonna follow them. For men, it's different. It's like just follow anyone who they think like, you know.
Yeah.
is cool
Yeah.
or funny.
For women, like
You have to think about it.
yeah, from what I've seen, especially with like, I don't know, because TikTok influencers wouldn't be considered celebrities. But what I've seen is that there'll be girls I'll be like, oh, she looks pretty, and then they follow her, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not like they like follow whatever they believe or whatever they say, but it's more like just because of the
Got
way
it.
that
Okay.
they look. But then men,
It's more on the sports side.
yeah, more on the sports side. There's also this one guy, something Tate. What's his name?
Andrew
Andrew
Tate.
Tate?
Yes. I feel like, I don't know, like, so many people at one point were following him, like, whatever he was saying, as if he were a preacher, I don't know, but, they were following him at one point, so that's why I'm like, I don't know, like, I feel like men are more easily I don't know nothing about him, just saying, but I heard his name getting thrown around a lot.
Shit. We're gonna have to pray for her later on
Like,
today.
I wouldn't quote anything about like a girl saying, "Oh, she said this, so I gotta do this," you know. But
Yeah.
that's probably just in my world.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
No, that's very interesting. I didn't think you guys were gonna say that about the topic.
What do you think we were gonna say?
Well, I'll leave that for our reaction. Thank you so much, Alex. As you can see,
Yay.
these girls are coffee holics.
We love Starbucks.
All right, you
I
gonna
got matcha
can grab
today,
yours
though.
if you think it's yours.
The matcha is one.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I put her on matcha. It's pretty good, guys.
It's really good, guys.
Thank you. All right, mine is nice and warm, just because I feel like I have to get ready. But thank you, Alex, again.
Thank you.
Oh, and Eric. I think he's the one that went to go get it.
Eric.
But and I won't say a lot, and I'll just say this: hearing what you guys said and what the guy said for that particular question that's why it's so interesting to me. In our reaction video, I'll kind of talk about more about that. But I'll keep y'all waiting.
Make sure y'all tune in.
Yeah, exactly. And if y'all haven't watch the guys. It's very interesting what they said about some of these questions too. Coming in that, I wanted to kind of discuss about our success and pressure. A lot of us have a little different background on like family and how we see success in our society or in our culture. But I wanted to kind of talk about and kind of want to know, what do you guys define as success, and how does that reshape our faith, or our faith reshapes how we see success, and in not only our careers but our lives in general, or even if we have goals in our faith, like how do all that kind of like plays out for us?
You wanna take it?
Okay. So okay, I guess I'll take it. For me, success, it's more, of course, we all have goals, preferably achieving those goals. Now, we as Christians, we do have to keep in mind that sometimes we dream of something that we view as success to us, and then God is like, I have something better for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to give up on those dreams, but God will give something that's greater than those dreams that you've had.
Okay.
So for me, success would be just fulfilling God's promise within my life and being happy overall, having a family potentially in the future, a husband, having like a set like life, career, and a home. I feel like that's my definition of success, just fulfilling God's purpose within my life.
Yeah, I believe the same thing. In general, like we're talking in regards to society and the way women view success, it would be, having a comfortable life, not having anything missing, having enough to provide, but then also being able to take care of the things that you had to take care of, like your family, your household, being good stewards of whatever God has granted us. But then for men, I feel like it has to do like a lot with money as well. So with a lot with doing financial things, a lot of like making as much money as material, in order to be able to one day provide for their possible future wives, provide for their house, provide for future things. So I wouldn't say that it's completely different from men's perspective on what success is, but I feel like there's definitely like some little parts where it's like it differentiates.
And I feel like also, like, if we talk about like the pressure that you said on success, I feel like it would be men getting that pressure more than women. I feel like men are expected to be the providers, and yeah, women have dreams as well. They can make their own money. We're in a society where now women are more independent, but at the end of the day, there is still a lot of traditional values that come from like generations, where it's like men should be the provider.
Men should take care of everything.
So I feel like they get that pressure more, and that's where men sometimes, I guess, because they're more like less expressive, they kind of hold that pressure in, and they're most likely to get stressed about the future more than women are.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because a lot of times women, they settle for someone to be like, take care of me.
We're like, whatever happens.
And me mantiene.
Yeah.
That's something we see a lot today, yeah.
Okay. If so you kind of talked about it, and that's why it'd probably be a quick question, but who stresses more about money?
Men. I feel like men.
Men, 100%.
Yeah. And
Well, actually, depends. Because I'm a woman and I be stressing out about money. I'm like, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But if it comes to like a situation where it's like, okay, your life depends on it, we have to like the money and everything. Like, I feel like men are more likely to get stressed out because they got to be the providers, like in their eyes.
But then also, is it easier for men or women to get jobs?
To get jobs?
Yeah. It's another question.
That's true. I feel like.
Because I feel like there's more available out there for men, just like based on the labor aspect. Like, I can't lift as much as mi hermano en Cristo, and I feel like there'll be a lot of jobs available for them that might not be available, for us. So, it could possibly be easier for men to come across that money, but then.
True, because there is jobs where women want to do those jobs, and they're like, oh, you're not really capable of doing it just because you're a woman. Like, you might not be able to lift as much, and then that might be the woman's passion. Like, let's say like firefighter women's, like there is firefighter women's, and that's what they've been dreaming about, and that's what they want to do. But sometimes, like, also in society, it's like you get judged because you're a woman, and a man could do the job better.
Yeah, or like even in the corporate world, they'll like hire more men because they'll say that women are more emotional and they don't want to deal with like the emotional aspect.
I just feel like there's a lot of perspectives you gotta look into when it comes to that. Like, but yeah.
I like everything that I'm hearing. It's very interesting. Like I said, I continue to learn day by day about not only women in general, but just how everybody kind of their perspective and their thoughts and how they maneuver through life. But I want to talk and move on to the next one, where I think it's very vital for us as people, our friendships and our communities around us. I think we are people, and I talk about us three in general. We like to have people around us. We like to have friends around us. Reyna usually has her sister around her. I used to be the same way with my little brother until, of course, I moved churches. But that was like we were 24/7, even when he was extremely annoying. But it's fine. But yeah. So I wanted to kind of like talk about, and it's kind of two questions in one. But I wanted to say, first of all, like, how do the women's friendships look in society, as of course compared to men, and also, like, what can you learn from friendships from guy friends, or like their friendships with other men? Like, just kind of think about, like, I know I could say that my friendship with you guys is different than you guys having your own friendship, right? But like, what's the difference, and what can you learn from them too?
Yes.
Okay.
She went, I don't want to stop you.
Okay, so in college, I do have like a friend group where it is pretty mixed. I have a guy friend, and he has several other guy friends, and they're like their own group, and I have my girlfriends and like several other girlfriends, right? And we're our own separate groups. And there's times where we do want to hang out or study together, so we both come together. And it's like he brings his friends, or I bring my friends, and we're all there. And eventually we all became friends that way, right? I would notice how they would be more on the, have you watched this game? Have you played this video game? Have you done this? Have you done that? Right? And we're like, okay, we're gonna study and we're all gonna lock in. Right? And then we lock in and then we're like, guys, so this and this happened in my life, and what do y'all think about this? And we're more like expressive towards like our friends about what we're going through and stuff, while men don't really do that. They more focus like on, you know, what's going on in like around them, right? Now, in the perspective, what I've learned from them is that sometimes you just gotta be quiet. Like, girls, we say too much sometimes, and they're more like chill, right? And I eventually learned, like, if you stay quiet about something, you just avoid like problems. And they're more like in their own little world. Like, there's more girl drama than there is guy drama. And I've like admired that about men, because I'm like, wow, like, y'all don't get this hate, y'all don't get this drama, and for girls it's different. So yeah, that's like one little take for me.
Yeah, a lot of times, whenever I've asked like my guy friends like certain stuff about other people, like, oh, like, what do they do? How old are they?
They're like, I don't know.
They'll be like, I don't know. Like, we just
I
start
just talked
talking
to
one
them.
day about something, but I don't know what they got going on in their life. But then with girls, like, they'll tell you every single detail. They'll be like, oh, they work here. They started here. Then they have these plans to do this, and you know, we know
100%,
everything about our girls. But then the guys is like, you know, y'all
But
really,
I don't know.
like, y'all just bonded over some random thing. But I admire that, because, you know, it shouldn't take that much, you know, to form a friendship, to, you know, form that bond with people. And then, as Yasmin was saying, sometimes women can like talk too much or say too much, and that can lead to more problems. And then men, I feel like they tend to, you know, avoid those problems by not talking as much, you know. But it's also like a question of discernment. Like, should you say certain things around certain people, or should you not?
Yeah.
That's why you need the Holy Spirit
100%.
to guide you on the things that you gotta say. So.
Okay. Who do you think texts back faster?
So
I am the worst
personally,
example
yeah,
for
me
that.
neither. Like,
Oh, I know. Don't worry.
no, I think depends, because I feel like we're both women and I feel like we both suck at texting.
Okay.
Like, if we're trying to keep up with a conversation, like, I tend to be very dry. Like you could be my best friend and like you text me and I'm like, yeah, okay.
No, she won't say yeah. She'll put YH.
Yeah, I put YH. And Reyna just doesn't text me back. And I'm like, Reyna, like, talk to me, please.
No, I promise I love you.
But with men, I feel like they're also horrible texters.
Okay.
Depending on, I feel like it all depends on who the person is and how they show their emotions. But I would say that in general, I feel like women are, they text back faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
In general, we're just not really that good
Yeah.
at it.
But again, it just depends. I feel like you just text back faster if you want to talk to the person too.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know. It depends, actually.
Who texts you back faster, women or men?
No one. And I say that. Okay, actually, okay. Actually, let me
Guys,
put it this way.
God, pray.
I have like 2 or 3 friends that text back quickly, and it's funny because Alex is actually one of them, and he has his phone in silence, like he has the no notifications, and he texts me back as fast as possible. So, and now one thing that I do too, and I always said this for myself, but it doesn't apparently occur the way that I thought, is I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna text back quickly just for people to text me back as fast as I am. But I take 10 seconds, people take about 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay.
And Reyna just never answers.
Yeah. So, no, and the thing is, like, I haven't got to the point where, like, if Reyna never answers, I'm going to give her a quick call and be like, first of all, are you still alive? And second of all, like, can we get this taken care of, like, right now? And then you can go back to what we have to do. Just because, like, I understand that we all have our things to do and stuff like that. But
No, it's because what happens with me is a lot of times I'm, like, speaking with, like, I'm always with people. Like, I'm really on my own. And because of, like, you know, respect, I don't want to pick up my phone in the moment and be like,
Yeah.
I
And
gotta
then you
text the person
forget.
back. Yeah, like I'll see the message, especially with this Apple Watch. Like ever since I got it, I've been even worse at texting because I'll see the message and I'll be like, oh, I'll answer them later. But I forget to because I see.
Oh, I know.
Sorry. Sorry.
Uh,
Apologies, guys.
and then no, and I feel like for me to not only my job, but I also have my own business. Like I have to stay in touch with people, right? So I keep looking at my phone, like you said here, and I'll answer them as quickly as possible. So I just kind of gotten used to doing that.
Yeah,
I need to be more like that.
makes sense.
But and then one other thing that I wanted to ask is like, who do you think remembers birthdays better?
Women, definitely. Like,
100%.
we'll always make like a basket or give flowers or give
Or-
like at least a little
yeah.
cake or at least a birthday text. Like
We're
the minimum is a birthday text.
Very, very expressive.
Yes.
Very expressive. We like making people feel like loved. Yeah.
That's our thing.
I'm
But then men,
And we
winning.
make it
Oh.
known. I feel like sometimes we try to like not make something known, and I feel like our facial expression says it all. Like sometimes, like if we're mad, like we'll be like ha ha ha. There's like,
or if we're hungry.
or if we're hungry, Reyna gets hangry.
Yeah,
Me.
that's one thing that I've really learned. I do not keep any girls waiting for like, oh, they're hungry. Yeah, what are we ordering? Like right now. Like let's do it right now because in 5-10 minutes, it's a whole different person.
No.
So I rather
Yes.
get that taken care of right now.
100%. But yeah, women.
Okay. All right. Well, we have enough time to do this particular question, and I left it at the end just for the same reason because I wanted to make sure to get through the other questions. But this one's about sports, so it doesn't have to be very long. It could just be nice and concise. I had already heard Jasmine mention sports, so I'm assuming I'm gonna lean to her to answer these questions better than Reyna because I know that Reyna does not do sports. But in our society. There's a lot of emphasis on sports, right? Sports is realistically a lot of what not only males but even females tend to see or tend to be at just because of having the relationship between people. But how do you feel that it's different for men and women and their experience with sports? That could be playing it, that could be watching it, or just listening to people talk about it.
I feel like men could relate. Well, women can't relate as much with other women in sports.
Okay.
Because most girls don't really like sports or do sports, like on the majority side. Like if you go outside and you ask a random girl, do you know about this sport related? Oh no, I've never like watched sports or played a sport. Versus for men, it's like a like wide thing, like a worldwide thing. Is like, oh yeah, like bro, did you hear this happen? They're like, oh yeah, I saw that on ESPN, and I'm like, oh, like yeah, I know about this, but like we really don't, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like women in sports, since they don't have other women to relate to within sports, I guess that kind of like pushes them back a bit on sports where they don't keep up with it as much as men do.
Okay.
And when it comes to playing the sport, obviously, like women's audience is way smaller than men's audience. And I feel like it's just, I guess, the stereotype where men could do the sport better than women.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people think, the intensity, the aggressiveness. Because there's like co-ed teams with guys and girls where they play together. And sometimes, since a girl is playing, they're like, okay, let's not go too hard on her because we're going to hurt her or something, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where the like separation is. And yeah, I mean, well, personally in high school though, we did have like our separate varsity guys, varsity girls, right?
Yep.
And I used to play with the varsity girls, and there wouldn't be much audience for our game until they saw that we were actually like doing good, and we actually went to championships and all of that, playoffs, all of those games. And then who they were leaning towards, which were the men, to like go to championships, like they didn't end up going, right?
Yeah.
So because they didn't have like the men to support, they were like, okay, now let's just go to the women since they're actually good, I guess. And there were a lot of like men there, and usually men are like, oh, like, yeah, suck, or like, yeah, don't put enough force, like, to kick the ball or something. But they actually were pretty, like, they would hype you up. They would like actually like bring you up, like not bring you down. They would like talk confidence into you. They'll be like, no, like you did really good in this and that, and it's like, well, for a woman, like it felt so good for a man. It feels better when a man tells you did good in a sport than when a woman tells you that you did good, because it's like men usually don't see that side.
Women throw around compliments.
Yeah.
Like, Como flores.
Yeah, that is true. And men know. Men are very like hard to like be like, hey, like to a girl. Like their ego is like sometimes really high. And so they're no, I would never tell a girl they did good. Like I know they did good, but I'm not gonna tell them that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Any input that you want to give?
Well, I feel like women relate a lot more to each other, like talking about like shows or like movies that we've seen, not so much with sports, yeah, and even like on televised sports, women's sports, they get a lot less support than like let's say like men's sports.
Okay.
So
100%.
yeah.
Okay.
That's my
This is my last question to ask before we go to the last remarks, and it's very simple. And it has to do with sports, but more your competitive drive. Who do you feel like is more competitive? And we're not talking about just sports. It could just be. I mean, I know we've had youth activities here. It could just be a competition between groups of any criteria. Who do you feel has that competitive drive?
Man. 100%, man. Like in anything, like girls could be competitive, yes.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the more competitive like gender I would like classify men, just because their ego is just so high. Like let's be honest, like most men, like when it comes to like competitiveness, they're like, no, I have to be the best. And I feel like that's just something like you're taught since you're little. Like dads are like very traditional, and they're very like, no, like son, you have to do this, like this, like if you do bad, like no, like you have to do this, or like you have to train harder, or like that, right? So I feel like men have always been with that expectation versus girls is like, it's whatever.
yeah.
And like we could be competitive, and then halfway if we see we're losing, we're like whatever. And men are like, no, I gotta come back. I gotta come back.
Yeah, men they'll like fight if they don't like end up winning, or if they don't like get
They'll
like
throw a
first place.
fit.
They'll, like, yes.
Okay.
Like I've seen more men cry because of a sport than girls. So that's what I'm like. It's definitely men by a lot. I mean, women, they can be competitive in other areas, but then like it's not like as much, as adamant as a man wanting to, be first place.
Okay.
Well, depends. Cause whenever I was in high school, and we were like trying to figure out the class rank and who would get first place, who would get second place, who would get third place. Those positions kept on switching among men and women, girls and guys, yeah. And they would like try and take more AP classes, and they'll try and do better, and they'll try, to get on the good side of teachers just because they wanted that first place. So, if it comes to like more physical things, then definitely men. Like our like bodies, our anatomy isn't made to sustain as much as a male's, but then in other areas, like women definitely can take a position in that.
Okay. No, and I appreciate all the conversations you've been having between each other and letting me hear and kind of experience it out while just kind of hearing you guys out. Any last remarks about anything, what we talked about, or anything that you guys want to say before we actually close out the video?
No, I have nothing to say. I mean, I feel like we did like touch every point, and I feel like what we said might be different from the guys 100%, because I feel like they tend to see things more like on a superficial side, while women really think about it. Like we're like, oh yeah, like men, but it could also be women. But like depends on the situation. While men are like, no, women or men or like that, right? Okay. And they like point out a specific example, but then they forget to think about like the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like men, they tend to be more logical. Like you tell them, oh, I have this problem. They'll be like, okay, so you need to do this, this, and this, and that. But sometimes, like a lot of times, women just need someone to hear them out.
Yeah, like we're more on the emotional side.
Yeah.
I did that phase because I promise you, I understand what you mean. With any of my like lady friends that I have, yeah, it's hard to understand.
And then if
you
you tell
sometimes.
them, like, if we're in the wrong and you tell us, like, oh, like, you weren't supposed to do that, we're like, well, I just wanted to talk to you so that you could hear me out and, like, support me.
You see how she raised her voice? Like, I promise you guys. I know I'm just a couple years older than you, but I know what you guys are talking about. And unfortunately, I still haven't learned my lesson. Let's put it that way.
No.
But
One day, one day.
yeah, God, Lord, just help me. But I appreciate again, like I said, you guys having this conversation with me. And what I will say is, I think our next video, when we're comparing and kind of understanding what both sides said, you guys will see a lot of like the difference in between what you guys said, but also very similar things. I was very kind of shocked in certain areas what you guys said, because they were very closer aligned to the guys. In other areas, I did not expect you guys to say certain things that you said. So it's very interesting, and that's why I said, like, if you guys haven't watched it yet, and it goes for both of you too, go watch the guys, because you're gonna understand what I mean. And also, in a couple of weeks from now, we'll also be doing the next one. The actual comparison is gonna be very interesting. And like I said, you guys may be part in certain pieces of it, and then we'll be able to actually have a conversation about it. But I appreciate you guys taking your time and being here. As you guys see, their rewards were coffees, because we're just coming out of fasting or whatnot, and I know they're very hungry, so they're ready to go, and to do their
And we're
their food.
Starbucks girlies. We love our Starbucks.
Yeah. So again, and we appreciate Alex bringing it, and also helping us with the images that we're able to provide during the video. And if you guys don't mind, continue to just share this to other people. Here at the Unseen Podcast, we've been having a lot of fun, and being able to have conversations between you guys. Eric will actually be with us very soon, so that's very exciting to be have my host or co-host, depending on what we're talking about.
We missed Eric on here.
Yeah, so we're gonna be seeing him very soon, and also, if you continue to like and subscribe. I know that we're we're starting preparing certain ideas that you guys will also be part of, and we're gonna have some exciting things going on in this channel and this podcast, and even in our English ministry, Eternal Fellowship. So we're continuing to have services every Thursday. We've been consistently going at it, and it's been very well. Reyna actually had preached in one of them, which she did an excellent job. I appreciate that. If you guys want to watch it, it's actually in the Eternal Fellowship page here on YouTube. But I appreciate you guys again, and hopefully we get to see you on the next one. So goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
Like and subscribe.